Hello, TRL Podcast, Episode 3.
TRL Podcast, Episode 3, Totally
Copyright
Relatable
trademark.
Life.
Totally Relatable Life.
Totally Relatable Life.
It is one day during the week. We've been with our kids 3 days in a row, so we are just about finished with everything. We're done.
Done.
How do you say we're done in French?
Dunskies.
French. Oh, that's messed up. Hang on.
So?
Dunzo?
No.
Fini. Isn't that French?
Fini. Très bon. Très bon. I took 6 years of French, and I have very little to show for it. So I'm not proud of that. It's not my proudest
nothing.
achievement.
Almost nothing.
Just about. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to jump right into this. The last time we talked, we were going to talk about our favorite movies. I've done my homework. I know you haven't. So I'm just going to let you ride my coattails on this one if you're ready.
Well, let's set the stage for the episode a little bit. We're going to hit some favorite movies.
Yes, we're doing entertainment in the beginning.
Entertainment in the beginning.
Then we're going to roll that into don't let your kids go on the internet.
Don't let your kids
we're
go on the
talking about
internet.
tubing and crazy stuff and other stuff.
Good segments and random. Okay.
There was a third one we were going to talk about.
I don't
recall.
recall.
I never remember when we're sitting on the couch what we're going to talk about.
We need to write it down more. We wrote it down, but. And we should use the scripting tool in here, and there's a transcript tool and a teleprompter thing. They've got tons of tools, and we're not using them to their max, but that's okay. Okay, so we're doing movies.
We talked about scary movies. We talked about action thriller movies, and then we
These are Sal's faves of all time.
Sports movies, and I realized I'd never realized how many movies I've watched. I've watched a lot of movies.
A lot.
Because I essentially just, I Googled, best 100 American action movies of all time. There's a lot of movies in there that I forgot that I've seen that are awesome. But most of the ones I have prepared are pretty good.
Okay.
Now, these are scary movies, none of which you're going to care about at all.
Okay, so the genre here is horror.
Yeah, well, scary horror stuff.
Scary horror.
Yes, number one is The Shining, which is completely crazy and scary.
Is that the one with the kid and the who rides the tricycle and sees the other kid down the hallway?
Sandy can't do
No.
Sandy can't do like a child or like quasi fantasy movie where there's like those sounds and it's like and then somebody jumps out. She can't do any of that.
No.
And she can't do blood and guts or jump scare or pretty much anything.
I get the worst nightmares. So I usually have to unplug if we've seen something scary, even a scary preview. I have to watch something funny or reels or jump on my little games on my phone. I have to do something to unplug my brain because I can't do it.
Yeah, so guys, drop it in the comments how terrible it is that your wife doesn't want to watch a movie because it might be scary or it might be
or sometimes
give her nightmares.
Is. But The Shining, I think it's whack.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway,
we get a whack.
Okay, Shining, we'll go through these quick. The Shining, the original first Friday the 13th, amazing movie. Solid
Decent.
Aliens doesn't get a lot of love. That original Aliens,
I think it was Alien singular, wasn't it?
Alien.
Wasn't it Alien singular?
Alien.
And then when it came out with part 2, did it turn into Aliens?
Oh, let me see. Alien.
Look that up real quick. But no doubt,
just Alien.
Sigourney Weaver at her best, and legitimate ride.
Witches of Eastwick was pretty good. Sigourney Weaver too.
Studios, now Hollywood Studios in Florida. That was the great movie ride. Loved that, and that was scary when the Alien came out. So yes, I would agree with you on Alien. Alien, I think revolutionized.
Oh no, Sigourney Weaver wasn't in Witches of Eastwick. I'm so dumb.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver was in Alien.
I know she was in Alien. I know that.
Oh. Fantastic.
Anyway. Okay, so Shining, Friday, Aliens. Jaws, the original Jaws, very scary movie.
Mm-hmm.
Makes people not want to go in water still to this day. Talk to Joe Rogan about Jaws, and he'll be like, yep, I ain't fucking with no water. Oops, sorry. That's what he'll say. We'll bleep that out, sorry.
You have to bleep that out. That's Steven Spielberg at his best.
During that movie, Steven Spielberg essentially said he just kept filming. He just kept sending back dailies to the studio and kept filming because he knew if he stopped filming to like fix this or make this perfect or do that, they would just shut him down.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Child's Play, Chucky, great one.
No.
So scary. The original Halloween, Michael Myers, we love him.
I still hate the soundtrack.
Get Out
from Halloween.
Get Out,
I hate
by Jordan Peele from Key and Peele. Very good.
Didn't see that one.
Old movie. Pet Sematary, that doesn't get a lot of love.
Old.
Old, for sure.
But Stephen King at his
The
best.
original Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. I mean, you're in your dreams, they're in your dreams. How scary is that? Because 'Cause you're laying in bed thinking you can't go to sleep. Like, it's terrible. Really bad. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Either one of
Mm,
them. Either
that one
one of
had
them.
Jason, didn't it?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't have Jason, it had a guy with a chainsaw
That wasn't Jason?
massacring people in Texas.
Oh, clearly,
Hence the
I
name.
know my horror movies.
The guy with a chainsaw in Texas
Okay.
would necessitate the name Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We got that, everybody? Alright. So, I'm gonna say that my wife has only seen 4 of those movies. Have you seen The Shining?
Seen The
Have
Shining,
you seen the original Friday the 13th?
seen the original, the OG.
You've seen
Yes.
Alien and Jaws. Oh, maybe I'm way low then.
Yeah,
Child's Play, did you see Chucky, the
I
original
did,
one?
I hated it. I didn't
You've
like
seen
it.
all these. You don't
I don't
remember
like the
seeing
idea of a doll coming to life,
you don't remember
and
you didn't see remember seeing Get Out?
I don't remember seeing Get Out. I know that's Key and
Yeah,
Peele.
that's really the only new one on here. I mean, the rest of them are all good. Okay, action thrillers, right?
Ooh, action, I love
Action
action.
thrillers. So, my problem with this one is, like action thriller, like when I looked up when I looked up the lists, it talked action thriller, but it said like comedy, drama. So like this is an action movie. Could be a thriller where it's a little scary too, but action thriller. My number one, and this is also my number two on my all-time list of all movies.
Okay.
Man on Fire, Denzel Washington.
Oh, that movie is fire.
Greasy. Oh,
Oh,
and
Denzel at his best.
well, he's
Dakota Fanning.
getting shot, and he's still doing stuff.
Dakota Fanning at her best. I mean,
And
yeah.
Greasy's on his death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece.
Christopher Walken, yeah.
Walken. That was an average Walken, I think. Man on Fire, definitely action thriller.
Denzel, great
Point
in that
Break,
movie. Point Break,
can't do it without Point Break.
classic.
And if anybody wants to know the movie Takers, okay, which has a cast of like, I don't know, Ja Rule or somebody's in there. There's a few African American
Is
guys.
that Paul Walker?
I forget the name. No, or is Takers Paul Walker? It might be. Okay, but Takers is an exact rip on Point Break. Like they're literally robbing banks, doing what they're doing, and then a detective or like a FBI agent sees the 4 of them, like, sitting on the steps of a bank, and, like, 2 of the guys talk to each other, then one guy walks away, and he, like, has this epiphany moment, which is the same exact thing when Keanu Reeves sees all 4 of the dudes surfing. Like, it is a almost shot for shot rip on that movie as far as how it goes. There's a
Keanu's the
love
OG.
interest between, like, the 2 brothers who have this girl. The one brother went to jail, and I guess she gets with the other brother, and then the other brother comes back out of jail, wants her back. Absolutely piece of dog poop. But Point Break
Point
on
Break,
the
the
oh,
OG. And
the
that's
OG.
Patrick Swayze
That's
at
the
his
Swayze.
best.
That's the Swayze.
At his best, the Sways.
The Equalizer, I mean, the first one, you can't beat that.
I don't remember that one, but it's
Equalizer,
Denzel.
Denzel.
It is
Taken,
Denzel.
Taken, talk about a quotable movie. Taken,
Liam
Liam's Neeson's. I
Neeson.
mean, I you can't even imagine. He's been on Fallon, all these other shows since then, and Fallon did a segment with him one time where a member of the audience wanted him to just talk to him like he would take him, but talk to him about Halloween candy or something. He's like, "Michael, I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to put chocolate in your Halloween bag,
His voice is
and if you
incredible.
don't take it, I will find you,
Yeah.
and I will kill you."
His
It was
voice is
amazing.
unmatched.
Unmatched.
It is amazing. Liam, shout out to
Man on
Liam.
Fire, Point Break, Equalizer, Taken, Dirty Harry, the original Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood,
Never seen
cheesy,
it.
but
Never
really
seen it.
good. Any of the Bourne movies, and I wrote that down, any Bourne movie. Now, I didn't want to include franchises specifically, but any Bourne movie except Jeremy Renner Bourne. Jeremy Renner Bourne is not where it's at.
So we have a
Um,
problem with Jeremy Renner's fingers. I'm sorry, Jeremy, but the close-ups of his fingers,
Listen, when we had
it's Matt
Jeremy when
Damon.
we had
Jason Bourne is
yeah,
Matt Damon.
it's for
It's
sure,
Matt
it's
Damon
Matt
all
Damon.
day. It
We
is.
had Jeremy Renner over the house. He had some turkey burgers with us, and we loved him. He was very nice, tiny guy, but he has the fingernail thing. I forget what it's called. It's like clubbing when people smoke too much, not clubbing when you dance and shake your ass too much, but clubbing. Your fingernails get big and brittle at the end, and it's kind of what it looks like. But his are wide as well, and it's like a condition. Fun fact: Sandy also cannot stand Bobby Flay's fingertips because they're all nubby and gross. But that's a lot of chefs too.
Bobby Flay.
But Bobby Flay's great. Bobby
I love
Flay's great.
Bobby Flay,
We
not his
cooked Bobby Flay a
fingertips.
steak a few weeks ago. It was amazing. He loved
Not
it.
his fingertips, no.
Okay, next, Heat, the movie Heat with Al Pacino. I don't like Al Pacino in a lot of movies. I feel like Pacino was like 70s and 80s, and then he's just been hanging on since then.
Probably.
Scent of a Woman, Heat, these were pretty good movies. All right, the next one I know you're gonna love, The Fugitive. The original Fugitive, Harrison Ford,
With Harrison Ford,
thriller action, that's
OG,
a good one.
good
That is
movie.
a solid one.
Good
I did
movie.
not kill my wife.
I wouldn't say that that's
I
one of
don't
the best of
care.
all time, but,
This is a
I mean,
top 10 action
I
thriller.
don't even know I'd put it in the
Are
top
you
10.
joking? He's in the hospital eating eggs behind the guy's door, like, passed out. He's
It
shaving his beard off and stuff.
it's a good movie. Is it the one of the best of all
Action
time?
thrillers?
I'm not putting it in the top 10,
Oh,
no.
whatever. John Wick, again, sorry, apologize, it's a series, I know, it's graphic comic books, but the original John Wick, where the dad looks at the son and he's like, "You killed his dog and you hurt his car," whatever he says, and then the dad's like, "Nah, you're on your own, son." Like, you know a person is a badass if a Eastern European father disavows his son because he messed with said protagonist, said good guy, bad guy in the movie. And that
Said.
and that's what the Bulgarian, German, or sorry, Russian, whoever it was. He's like, "You mess with John Wick? See ya, pal. Looks like your sister's gonna be running the business after I die."
But you have John Wick in there and you don't have the Matrix series.
As action thrillers?
Yeah,
Yeah, because the
100%
Matrix is
way better than John Wick,
Matrix is
and I
all
know it's
tied
Keanu.
the Matrix is all tied together, I feel like, so it's more of my sequel list. Because John Wick, it's all graphic novels, but they're sort of standalone stories a little
But
bit.
there's 42 John
There's
Wicks
like 4 now, I know. Alright, anyway, John Wick, then The Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan, essentially any Christopher Nolan
with Christian
bad
Bale?
one, but the one with Christian Bale and the one where Heath Ledger won the Oscar.
Yes.
That was great. The first
I
Joker one.
I echo that.
So good.
Very good.
And the last one is The Hunt for Red October, which I know
Oh,
Sandy loves. She
love.
loves it.
I love The Submarine.
Yep,
I
the whole
love
thing,
I love Sean
100%.
Connery. I love Alec
I
Baldwin
like
in
when
it.
he's eating his food and he goes, "I give us, 3 chances out of 10."
They're brilliant. They're brilliant,
I'm
brilliant
Sean
premise.
Connery.
Go America in it, go
I'll
America.
take anal bum cover for 200, Alex.
Okay, you're
Anyway, it's
pulling
good
out an
stuff.
SNL
The
reference
penis
for Jeopardy.
mightier. He says a lot of good stuff. Anyway, Hunt for Red October, that's 10
That
action
was
thrillers.
actually The Pen is
Sports.
Mightier. The Pen is Mightier
The
is
pen
the
is mightier
joke.
than the sword, but
The
it's the
Pen is
penis
mightier,
mightier. I mean, it's what it says.
but the joke in SNL is The Pen
Shut up, Trebek.
is mightier. Okay, keep going.
Sports. So the sports one was hard because like Talladega Nights is not on here because it's a comedy, but it's got sports, right?
Talladega Nights is not all-time sports movie.
Right. So
no.
these are mostly
and
like
I take offense to this category.
concentrating on the sports. This is mostly concentrating just on the sports. Okay.
No,
Number
I'm
one.
offended by this category. Give your number one.
Number 1, Rocky. Original Rocky.
Okay.
Number 1.
I mean, Rocky is definitely up there.
Come on, it's really
You
good.
can't have a sports movie category without Rocky
Stallone's
being
a
in
little
it.
mumbly in it, and he doesn't have that good Stallone look yet, but Rocky's a solid one. 2, Hoosiers, also a great
Yes.
movie. Straight sports movie.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Yes.
3rd, Karate Kid. I can't tell you how many times I watched a kung fu movie or a karate movie when I was a kid in the '80s, and my mom had one of those little 3-tier vegetable basket things, like, hanging up over in the corner, by the phone when we used to have a house phone. Now nobody has house phones, and I would start spin kicking that thing like I was the Karate Kid, and I'm like, "Oh my god, Asian girls are so cute." Like, it was the whole thing. Or no, that was Karate Kid 2.
That was 3 when they go to Japan.
No, 2, they go to Japan.
No, they go in 3.
No, they go in 2.
It's Karate Kid 3.
No, okay, it's Karate Kid 2, they go to Japan. Karate Kid 3, they come back and they fight the new scary guy. Get it right. Okay?
Look it up.
Okay. I might have lost last week on Hangman versus Bagman, which we still have to do the punishment for, but
Karate Kid 3
Okay.
Japan.
Karate Kid 2, go. Karate Kid 2, returns to Okinawa to bring his protege. That's 2.
Well, it's 3.
3 is when they come back and they fight the new guy, the scary-looking guy.
Oh, I thought I was right.
Anyway, Karate Kid, number 3. Number 4, Mighty Ducks. Can't do that.
You rated
Ducks
Mighty
fly
Ducks
together, baby.
ahead of Rudy?
Ducks fly together. Number 4 or 5, Moneyball. Even though I saw David Justice do an article or do a interview the other day, and he said a lot of the crap in Moneyball was like different from how it really happened, but the premise of Mighty Ball is true about Moneyball, about what happened. I didn't realize that putting Mighty Ducks and Moneyball close together on the list was going to mess up my speaking.
and it's
Is
hard to say.
Mighty Ball and Moneyball. Anyway, Moneyball.
But,
Next,
okay, Mighty Ducks was
Mighty Ducks was
what's his face?
4,
Who no, who's the lead actor in that?
Emilio
It's Charlie
Estevez.
Sheen's brother,
Emilio Estevez,
Emilio
yeah.
Estevez. And then Moneyball is Brad Pitt
Okay,
and Jonah
yes.
Hill.
Jonah Hill, yes.
Great,
The
great in
next
it.
one really could be higher, but I honestly forgot about it. Million Dollar Baby, great sports movie.
Oh, Hilary Swank is
Great
great in
sports
that.
movie. Nobody gets killed in a movie like Hilary
Clint
Swank.
Eastwood,
Hilary Swank gets murdered in a few movies that she's in, and she wins some Oscars for that stuff. Good for her. The next two are horse movies, Seabiscuit and Secretariat. Excellent sports movies. And then we have A League of Their Own.
great,
Yep. Tom Hanks.
love
No,
it.
no. Did I cry? No. You know why?
Yellow
'Cause there's no
baby,
crying in baseball. There's no crying.
yellow
There's no crying
baby,
in baseball.
like a
Then the
baseball.
ump comes over. He's like, "Hey, Jimmy, you want to be nice to the women? Jimmy, can you just be nice to the women?" And then Jimmy says to the umpire, "You know, you look like a little penis with a hat on." And then Jimmy gets tossed out of the game. It's a great movie.
Great
Uh,
quotable movie of all
the
time,
last two,
great.
The Natural with Robert Redford. I mean, hitting home runs and getting Glenn Close or whoever that chick was up on your business. Yeah, he like hits into the light, jumping off the wall. And then Rudy. Rudy is number 2.
You wait, stop.
Yeah, Rudy,
So
number 2.
everybody stop right now. I can't take it. I'm gonna have a heart attack. You ranked Rudy at number 10. That is a horrible, horrible vote, and I completely do not support it at
I
all in
mean,
any
the
way, shape, or
list
form.
is
No.
fluid, but
Rudy is number 1. Rudy is number
sports
1
movies
and
all
will
time.
the number 1 sports movie of all time. Rudy. Number 1 sports movie of
And
all
tell
time.
everybody why you love Rudy.
1, I bawl my eyes out every
Every
single
time.
time. 2,
Every
Sean
time.
Astin is brilliant in it. Brilliant. Vince Vaughn has the minor part. The storytelling is fantastic. He's 100 and nothing, 5 foot and nothing. He ain't got a
5
lick
foot
of
nothing.
athletic ability,
100 nothing.
but he hung in there with the best football team in the
Charles
land.
Dutton, good guy.
Brilliant. All about being average, overcoming adversity, putting your mind to it. You can
And
overcome it
based on a
and
true
accomplish
story. Based
anything.
on a true story.
My first dog is named after this movie. My firstborn, her middle name is Rue. So you can see the place that Rudy has in my heart and clearly not in my husband's. And we share our firstborn. So what's wrong
We
with you?
also share our second-born, unless there's something you wanna
But
tell me.
her namesake is after this movie, the best
Top
movie of all time.
Your top 10s mean that you could watch them over and over and over.
Yeah.
Well,
Every time Rudy comes on
I
TNT,
could
I
do
am
that,
glued.
but I have to quantify them in a list. I mean, I probably could have put it right above the horse movies and knocked everybody
No.
down a bit, but, like, my top 4 or 5 are pretty solid.
I hear Rocky, and I like Rocky as a
Yeah.
pick. Rudy's better than Rocky.
Maybe. Oh, Charles Dutton, by the way, also in a good action thriller that I don't include on my list, Gothica with Halle Berry. Really
No,
underrated movie.
I've never even seen that.
Super
That's
underrated
not a
movie.
top 10,
Okay,
Salvatore.
last but not least, sequels and franchises, okay? Now, my name is Salvatore, so you're definitely I'm gonna hear it in the comments from the 17 people that comment on our show. By the way, more people
We
comment.
get 17 viewers?
Well, maybe.
That's awesome.
So, guys, we're trying to pay for our kids' college. If everybody could help us out. I'm gonna
Just
have a
subscribe.
Venmo sign over here next week. It's just gonna say
Just
Venmo
subscribe.
$1. So 17 million people watch a little bit of the podcast, and then a certain percentage of that Venmos us $1. We'll start to be able to make some cash here.
Shout out to my mom for these
Shout
glasses,
out for hot
for the
chocolate
mugs,
classes.
and the hot cocoa. Love it.
What would Mr. Wonderful say? He would say, the acquisition of that money was very easy. Like, what's our turnover? What is our click rate? What is it called? Buy rate?
What are you exactly talking
Somebody
about?
Venmos us $1 when I put the Venmo screen behind us. Like when they give us money for our
Oh,
podcast.
okay.
But it's a certain term. Mr. Wonderful would know. Anyway, sequels and franchises, and I'm gonna tell you straight out now, The Godfather's not on here, and it was number 1 on IMDb. Godfather 1, excellent. Godfather 2, probably a better sequel than 1, but Godfather 3 is an abomination of all kinds.
I don't remember it.
That
I need to
movie
go
is
back.
so horrible. Sophia Coppola's in it, and all it is a piece of steaming dog turd. So, it didn't make the list, and it's never going to. Should've just been standalone movies on their own, okay? But the number 1 movie franchise, and this was not difficult, we've already talked about it, Back to the Future. 1, 2, and 3, all amazing, all make perfect sense. just done perfectly. Zemeckis and Spielberg and all those guys, I think, who were in it. Let's see.
I
Back
agree. I concur
to
with this series. Back to the Future is brilliant.
Nexus. Robert Zemeckis.
Premise, brilliant technology, brilliant, brilliant storytelling. Michael J. Fox, brilliant.
Michael J. Fox, by the
Christopher
way,
Lloyd, brilliant.
super underrated. Michael J. Fox. Super underrated.
But he was underrated at the
He
time.
didn't get
He
to do
was the
Yeah, but
hitman.
he
I
didn't
mean,
get to
he
do a
was it.
lot. He didn't get to do a lot because of the Parkinson's. What is the movie where his wife dies and then he's fighting the Undertaker? The Ghost or something? He's so good in that movie, and no one ever saw it. Anyway, sequels, franchises, Back to the Future. Second, and it's probably the Bourne movies. They're so good.
They are good.
Such
Matt
the Jeremy
Damon.
Renner one. I mean, they all make sense.
How are
They
you rating
tie
that? You're rating that
together.
above Mission
They
Impossible?
tie together. Um, yeah, because Mission Impossible is the same plot for 4 out of the 6 movies.
But it's Tommy's.
Same plot.
So
It's on the
good.
list. It's like 5 or 6. Back to the Future franchise, Bourne franchise, and then Indiana Jones.
Oh, Indiana Jones for
Even though
sure.
the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, again, is horrible, but it was
Temple of Doom alone puts it up there.
nobody associates the last Indiana Jones with the first 3. First 3 are great. Last Crusade, Temple of Doom,
Brilliant.
and, Indiana Jones. What's the other one? Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade. Anyway, there's 3. The first 3, on point. Then we got The Matrix. The Matrix is in there, really good.
Really good.
The last 2, though, The Architect and this guy and, I'm insubordinate, whatever the stupid stuff they were saying. The first one was perfect. The second and third ones got a little muddy.
Well, it's hard to follow up
And then there's some big
a
orgy.
brand new
There's a
premise like
big
that.
dancing orgy when they all get back to Zion, when they're fighting in the beginning of the movie, and they're whipping their hair around and stuff. It
I don't remember, but
wasn't very Matrixy in that specific scene, but Matrix, very good. And then we have any Chris Nolan Batman movie, and that's what I wrote. And then, the Daniel Craig 007 movies. I mean, that was
those are
a
great.
long series, and
But you don't put Star Wars in there at
I was
all.
a Pierce Brosnan guy and still am, but the Daniel Craig ones, they're just so much better. He looks
Daniel
better.
Craig is
He looks good in
it's
the
I think
suit.
it's because he's gritty.
He takes his suit off. The girls in all those movies, for some reason, are prettier than the girls in the Pierce Brosnan movies, even though they're all very pretty, except for my wife. She's prettier than all of them. So
He has to say
so
that
anyway,
legally.
those ones. And then The Hangover as a funny one. The
You
second
have The
one,
Hangover rated above Star
The
Wars?
Thailand one was terrible, but it was still good because when the scene where they get shot in the arm and Stu just starts freaking out, he's like, "Oh my
No.
god,"
It's
and he
the
gets his
same
arm sewed
movie
up.
over
It's
and
the
over
same movie,
again.
which plus we met Bradley Cooper and he was so awesome. It's in there for sure. But as far as sequels, it works. It's perfect. It all works.
But you have that
But I'm not
higher than
Star Wars.
Star
I like
Wars.
Star Wars, but I'm not a Star Wars guy. Star Trek, that franchise is
Oh,
probably on there for
the
sure.
new Star Trek
New
with
one.
Chris
Yeah,
Pine?
yeah, yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Chris Pine needs to be on the list, babe. The Star Trek series with Chris Pine?
Yeah, it's on the list. I only made like 6 or 7 of the franchise
Oh,
ones. It was gonna take too long.
that's a great series.
Alright, I mean, we know your favorite movie and your favorite sports movie of all time is Rudy,
Yes,
but, like,
and
any other
it's
ones?
number 10 on your
It's number
list.
10 on my
That
s
is a slap
it's
in the
number
face,
10 on my
sir.
sports list movie, which means it probably wouldn't make the top 30 or
So
40.
all-time? No, it's all-time number 1. It's all-time number 1. The
Well, like, what
music,
other
I wrote my
movies?
college essays to track number 7 tryouts.
What
Thank
a
you.
go
Shout out.
Sean Astin, please, at Sean Astin, say hello to
At Sean
us.
Astin, you were brilliant in it. You were
Listen,
You've never even
next
given Lord of the Rings I'm speaking of Sean Astin, you never given Lord of the Rings a shot.
I did. What happened?
You didn't even mention Harry
What
Potter.
happened to Lord of the Rings?
You haven't even watched the series of Harry
What happened
Potters.
when I watched Lord of the Rings?
You fell asleep
Yes,
every
20
time.
minutes in,
So
twice,
ridiculous.
because
Ridiculous.
it's a dog crap
Ridiculous.
movie.
I mean, it's long.
I can't do all the fiction. I can't It's just too much fiction. That's why listen, Harry Potter's entertaining to watch, but when you have to get a Google Floogle to get your Snoogle Doogle because you're making a game of a Moogle Boogle, and then a Dougal Schnoogle comes by and hits your food, which is a Potty Woodle, and you're just making everything up. You're making it all up.
Well, it is a made up fantasy land, but so is Lord of the Rings. So is all of these. All of these movies.
The premise of Harry Potter from Star Wars.
Okay.
We
All
ripped the
right.
premise of Harry Potter from Star Wars. An old Jedi crazy person trains you to be a perfect person, this and that. You're fighting with your friends. Do you love her? Do you not love her? She's your sister. Oh, we're not sisters and brothers. She ripped it from there a little bit. Okay, Harry Potter's nice. It's just not on there for me.
Magical. I
Okay,
like magic.
my Dumbledores don't care about any of that stuff. Can't do it. Can't do it.
So what was your top all time?
Well, my top all-time movie is funny, it's not on here because there's no category for it. Okay, wait, you don't know my top favorite movie of all time? I know yours is Rudy.
Yeah, mine's Rudy, of course.
You don't know my favorite
Well,
top
Forrest
movie of
Gump.
all
I don't
yes,
think it's on
thank
your
you,
list
Forrest Gump,
anywhere.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
married.
We were gonna go see a judge if she didn't know that one. That was, okay, settle
Yeah,
down.
where does Forrest Gump fit
Oh,
in?
for it's not action thriller, it's not scary, it's not anything.
Forrest Gump is
Like a
not the
coming
best
of
movie
age
of all
tale, so
time.
it's like, what is it, like a drama comedy?
It's not
Comedy
the best
drama?
movie of all time though, honey. It's not.
Forrest Gump structurally and is a structurally and cinematically perfect movie. 100%.
It's a very good
Act
movie,
1, Act 2, Act 3, the plot points, everything works. There's nothing loose. It is absolutely perfect.
but you don't have some of the classics on there. You don't think E.T. is structured that way or Goonies.
I mean, yeah, Goonies, but that would be a comedy. I didn't do comedies.
I'm saying best of all time.
Best of all time,
That's
Goonies would
Goonies.
be top 20?
I mean, Goonies needs to be up there.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't have
up there.
Gremlins, even
Oh,
under horror,
scary, but that's comedy too.
but it's still they were
I
scary
went
when that water hit those
Yeah, no,
Gremlins and their
I went
backs are
straight to
popping.
there's a couple
Ugh.
categories like dramedies, bromances, what is a comedy romance? Cromedy? Rom-com? Rom-com, that's what it is.
Oh, rom-coms.
Comedies, yeah, all the Matthew McConaughey movies.
Rom-coms. They're
All the
rom-coms.
Matthew McConaughey movies before he became that fat guy with
How
all the
Lose a Guy
gold
in 10
hair.
Days.
Rom-coms. So those are all different, but, like, yeah, Gremlins is a top 30 movie for sure.
Gremlins faux show.
Gremlins oh, for sure, for
Faux
sure,
show.
yeah.
Up there. But nothing tops Rudy. So
I mean, that's your opinion, that's why
it is.
that's why this makes sense. Listen, Rudy is a good movie, it is shot well, it's beautiful, the scenes all
It is
work,
beautiful.
South Bend, like, it's all
It's
great,
inspirational.
but it's, it's a top 35 movie for me of all time.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a movie guy, like, if The General's Daughter was on TV, I could watch it over and over and over,
John Travolta's good in that, but that's not the
or
best
I could
movie of all
also watch
time.
The Hangover over and over and over, like, I have a very wide movie
Palette.
palette, yes, my palette is very there's a lot
I
of
would agree
different
with
stuff.
that. I agree with you on
I
that.
even forgot Section 8 with John Travolta, that's a crazy one, where he's like a I don't even know what he is in the movie, but he busts up like a drug ring people that are shipping drugs in and out of this airbase. Such a good movie.
I don't know.
Twists like you don't see. Speaking of twists, let's get to it. His and hers.
His and hers. So if you
Oh my god,
haven't seen it yet,
spoilers, they're coming.
for our 2 viewers, if you haven't seen it
Yes.
yet, abandon ship
Fan and Chip.
or fast forward.
Mom and Sandy's mom, stop watching right now. And
My mom
because
has seen
it
it
is
because I
coming.
immediately
It
texted
is
the
coming.
Kathy. I immediately texted the Kathy and said, "Hey, if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it." And she said, "Oh, we binged it last weekend. We had to see it." And we used to
Oh
live
my
in Dahlonega,
goodness.
Georgia. My father was stationed
Totally
there.
amazing.
He was manning the Ranger Camp Dahlonega,
Shout out
which
Lieutenant Colonel.
which is the mountain phase of Ranger School. And so when he was the commander of that camp, we lived in Gainesville, Dahlonega. My mother went to college at North Georgia College, so we knew
She
that
did.
area very, very well.
Yes. Dahlonega, by the way, if you are watching the Smithsonian Channel like I do and Aerial America, the Indians called it Delonega, and it means mountain of gold or something with gold because there was gold there back in the day, but Delonega or Dahlonega. So super good. But wife,
His and hers.
you start out. I'll give you the floor for the premise. Go ahead.
For his and
Yes,
hers.
for his and hers.
Okay, so again, we don't want
Spoilers.
any spoilers for the 2 viewers, mom and mom.
So good though. So good.
Fast forward. But this is so good. The premise being, obviously it takes place in Dahlonega. There is a murder that happens in the woods. And so, one person is an anchor in Atlanta, and so you have some characters who are anchors on TV in Atlanta, but the majority of the plot is taking place in Dahlonega, and it's about the investigation around this murder in the woods and what happened, how that all plays
Listen, it's
out.
in the woods, but the chick's laying on her car, stabbed to death.
She's laying in a car, stabbed to death. Yes. Yeah, but it's a murder. It's a murder
Murder
investigation show.
investigation.
And it's a limited series. I think there's 6 episodes.
Yes.
Very, very
This
good.
episode. So the first one delves into the start of the murder, and in that first episode, essentially, you find out that the lead detective and the lead reporter lady that comes up from Atlanta who got her job back as a reporter, she had been gone for a year. They're married, the lead detective and this lady who's the reporter. Okay. You find that out right towards the end of the first episode. And they had a baby. The baby died. They were sort of broken up. She went away. She wasn't around. He started, doing whatever with these people in town. He's, going around. So she's murdered. She's stabbed. All the forensic people are working. They're all doing that. And it's got the suspense is nice. Like it's really good. She gets the cameraman from the station in Atlanta, who just happens to be married to the anchor that took over her spot when she left when her kid died. She does that, and then she did the nasty with him one time, I think, to make her mad. And then, the first episode goes through, you kinda see that the reporter lady, her name's Anna, her mom still lives in Dahlonega, they grew up there, went to this fancy private school, but her mom apparently seems like she has dementia. Um, and then even the first episode, like, when you wanna watch the next episode right away, and you have to get up at 5 in the morning
That's a
for
good
work, it's a
show.
good show.
That's a good
So,
show.
like, shout out, Center City Surgery. Sorry I was so tired last week, but 2, 3 days in a row, we were up late watching this. So,
Yes.
first episode, everything gets established, we're gonna need DNA from everybody, everyone's traipsing around the crime scene. There's some semen, she got stabbed, blah, 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 blah. And then it just evolves from there into greatness.
Yeah, and it turns out, it's more about situations that happened back when a group of girls were in high school
Yeah, so
together
catty girls in high school,
and
does that ever happen?
mean girls, bullies,
He goes,
and events that unfolded during that time in their life. And so there's harbored ill will and bad
yeah,
feelings.
there's a group of 4 girls, and then they sort of bring in this 5th girl, and then one of the girls is Anna, who's the reporter, another one is this girl named Rachel, another one is this girl named Wang, Elizabeth Wang, Lizzie Wang, whoever she is. So there's 2 ringleaders that are mean, the Rachel girl and the Asian girl, and then there's 2 that are sort of okay, Zoe, and Anna. And Zoe and Anna gets added to the group, Zoe's already in the group, and then they start messing with this really overweight girl whose name is Catherine, and, it just you don't see
It's
the
Mean
twist.
Girls.
It's Mean Girls, so what eventually happens is they see that Rachel gets murdered, right? So they're all trying to figure out, "Oh, who killed Rachel? Who killed Rachel?" Well, it winds up that the detective guy who's married to the reporter lady was having an affair with this Rachel girl, goes to the husband, interviews him because she's married to the super rich guy. The super rich guy's talking like, "Oh, she only, would have sex with guys that were beneath her station, and, I kept her in Gucci and gold, and that's how she liked it, and I think she was happy, having affairs, and, I'm older, so I couldn't do it, so she just could never do anybody here in our town. She had to go out of town, yada, yada." So it's a bunch of weird stuff. Rachel ends up getting killed. The Asian lady ends up getting killed. And you think the whole time, oh my gosh, it's got to be the detective guy, or it's got to be Anna, the reporter lady, or it could be the cameraman guy. It starts spinning through all this crazy stuff. So finally, like third, fourth episode, you're seeing a lot of crazy stuff.
Another girl gets
Yep.
killed. So you see them, they're big. Each girl in the girl group is getting picked off one by one by
Yeah.
one.
First episode, it's Rachel. Third episode, I think it's the Elizabeth girl, the Elizabeth Wang or whatever, the Asian lady. She's the headmistress at the school.
Yeah. So anyway, the bottom line is it's an incredible show. The way it twists at the end, because I kept thinking, so I initially was thinking, could it have been the husband who is the lead detective? Could it have been him?
And then I was thinking it was Anna in the beginning,
Right, who was the anchor
the
from
reporter.
Atlanta, the reporter, and she was one of the girls in the girl group, but she had been hazed when she was 16 years old, and something bad happened to her, and so there was ill will there with
Yeah.
the girls didn't like each other, and
It's a little bit
so
slow as far as the draw, like, on why people are mad at each other or why the friend group, like, broke up and
yeah,
didn't stay
fell
close,
out.
because they're older now.
But at the end, even toward the end, I was even
I still thought it
pretty
was Anna
confident.
or the
I thought it was
cameraman.
Anna, the anchor.
Yeah.
I thought you thought it was the
Yeah.
cameraman for a long
I
time.
pretty
You thought
much
it was the
yeah, I
cameraman.
pretty much guessed most of what was going on. I thought it was the cameraman who was married to the blonde anchor lady in Atlanta who took over for Anna. And, I'm watching and watching, I'm thinking, "God, maybe him and her are kinda getting together." because she was the fat girl, and the fat girl gets attacked, and it looks like she gets in the woods by these guys. I don't wanna say the bad word, she gets assaulted in the woods by these guys. So you're thinking, "Oh, it's her, and she wants to get back at everybody," but then you're thinking, Anna really didn't do anything wrong because Anna was drinking and the guys were trying to mess with her too.
This was back on her 16th birthday.
On
They kept
16th
doing
birthday, right?
they kept doing flashbacks
Flashbacks, which
back to
were
when they
good,
were kids
timed perfectly.
and what happened, why they had such a big fallout, why these girls were so mean,
Yeah.
why they were just really toxic to be around each other, and the fallout when they
Yeah.
were adults became what it
Yeah,
was.
the
So,
suspense moves on to, like, it's
it was
really
good
the
suspense.
suspense is good because, like, the lead detective guy has to give DNA sample, and he had the sex with her and did the sex, and, so his DNA is all over the place. So that's a few episodes where you're like, "Oh my god, how's he gonna do this or that?" Eventually, you can figure out it's not him. I still thought it could be Anna towards the end, and then a crazy part is the 3rd mean girl is named Zoe. Well, she is the lead detective's sister. They went to a private girls' school, he went to a different school, but she was in the group with the mean girls, and she was one of them. So, you're thinking, "Gosh, it couldn't be him, and it probably couldn't be the sister-in-law," even though they don't like each other, who is Anna, she's the sister-in-law. So, like, 4th ep 5th episode, it's working up, they're getting nervous, they're getting down, the FBI's coming in, GBI's coming in, so then finally Zoe gets killed, so it's not the lead detective guy, it's not Anna, who's his wife, who's the sister-in-law. So, long story short, he goes to the house after he gets booted off the case in the last episode. They're like, "FBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation's coming in." He gets booted off, goes up, sister's dead in the house. He comes running out of the house, and this, Indian detective lady he's been working with is starting to ask him some questions because 'cause she's been suspicious, so she tries to hold him there. And he's trying to get to Anna, who is
She's at the lake house
yes,
with
cameraman?
the other anchor
Yeah,
from Atlanta and her husband, the cameraman. So then you're thinking, "Oh, they're luring her out
to
to the
kill her.
lake. They're going to kill her."
And they had
And they had
yeah,
randomly, the cameraman
ropes.
goes to, like a Walgreens or some sort of a convenience store and buys ropes and hammers and tape, and so the lead detective zip ties. The lead detective sees him doing this, and it's super odd behavior, so you're thinking he might be the
You're
killer
like
because these are all devices being used in
uh-huh.
murders, potentially. So Anna gets lured out to the lake to go and edit their
Yeah, to
piece.
finish up their piece, but then the husband's like, "Oh, she just kinda wanted to bury the hatchet," and we're thinking, "Oh my god, someone's gonna get hacked apart," because, you're thinking they're mad at each other because she took her anchor job. Then they get into the house, and all the stuff is laid out all across the table. There's a hammer and zip
It's
ties and
bizarre.
duct tape and everything else. So and I called this out, my wife can verify this. So, this is how it goes. The fat girl,
Overweight
she was I'm not being mean, she was just fat. She was very overweight, obese. She
when she was younger.
she so they're all rich kids. The only ones who aren't rich kids are Anna, and that's it. Yeah, Anna's not a rich kid. That was it. The other people were sort of well-to-do. So Anna got to the girls' school, but she wasn't a rich kid, but the rest of them are rich kids. So
Anna's mother was the
yeah,
janitor
so
at the school.
the chubby girl who's the skinny news anchor in Atlanta, she was chubby when she was younger. Her and her parents and her sister are going on the lake. Her sister starts to make fun of her, talking about how she's eating or this or that. So the sister puffs out all of her inhaler, and the sister winds up dying on the lake from an asthma attack. And it's never made completely clear if she, like, felt sorry about it or not. There's a sheriff that has a little scene about talking about he sees her downstairs during the girl's funeral back 20 years ago, yada, yada. So long story short, Anna is looking at this wall in the lake house. That is the lake house of the chubby girl and her sister and her parents, okay? And it winds up her name is Catherine Alexis Jones, and she goes by Lexi Jones in Atlanta, and she's all skinny and pretty now versus when she was way back before. So Anna's thinking, "Oh my god, these people are setting me up to kill me." She's freaking out and just looking at everything like it all ties together. Oh, it's so nice. So she runs to go get her gun because the husband comes after her. Then she runs back and pushes him into some room that has like a locked door. And then Anna comes down from somewhere. They start fighting. Long story short, Anna gets popped by a cop because the husband's coming back out. Everyone's coming back out to the lake house because somebody got a call and said, "Oh my God, Anna's in trouble at this lake house." Right. So the ex-husband, that's the only weird part. He gets locked like in a he gets locked in a room that was an interior room of a house, but it had like a hotel room locked door on it, like they torture people in there. But neither one of them is the killer because Sandy, go ahead and explain what happens at the end.
So, the biggest twist of all we did not see coming was there was a letter written to Anna after the dust settled, cops came, Anna
Her and the cop
survived,
are back together.
her and the lead investigator are back together. Then Anna's mother writes her a letter and basically confesses to all the murders.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and
And
said that because she was being a protective mother
yep,
and she didn't exactly know what happened to her in high school until she started watching her videos that she'd recorded. She had a handheld
she had a
camera
box of tapes
and a box of tapes, and she had recorded herself and her friends throughout the years, and
and other news stories.
her mother, when she missed her daughter, would go and just watch the
Yep,
tapes, and then
so good.
she saw the sex assault that happened in the woods during Anna's 16th birthday, and she saw the mean girls really coming out, and so her mother being the protective mother bear, she went and murdered them.
Yeah, crazy. And how does it work so perfectly? Everyone thought the mom had dementia, but she didn't. She was faking it because on the nights of the murders, she got found 3 times out in the woods or walking on the street completely naked. So she just tossed her clothes somewhere in the garbage or somewhere where no one would ever find them, and they're thinking she's demented, but she's not. And she goes and kills the chick against the stabs her on the car, she slashes the other one's throat, and then she beats the other one with a hammer in a bathtub because all of them took part with bringing these guys in that assaulted these girls, and Catherine was gonna get assaulted, the chubby girl, and she didn't, she ran away, and then she didn't help Anna at all. Anna wound up getting assaulted and so, I mean, Anna's reading it, and it's just going line by it was so good. It was so good.
Incredible show, incredible ending, twists throughout,
Twist.
didn't see it coming. It's a must see on
Just
Netflix,
go.
must
Well,
see.
even if we ruined it for you, we missed a bunch of stuff because we're not dissecting all the shows. We could do that. If we were gonna dissect a show for an hour and go episode by episode, this would be the one to do it, but we're not. The next show that we just finished won some Golden Globes, Adolescence.
Oh, we did.
Very
We
heavy
dove into
show.
adolescence.
Very heavy.
Very heavy, 4
4
parts.
parts.
Very heavy. I sobbed, but it is a must see for every parent out there raising young kids,
In
raising
the
teenage
internet age,
kids in the
in the
internet
social media
age.
age, actually.
It is a must see. I understand why they've won so many awards. I get it.
It's crazy.
Not only is it a what do they call it? A oneer or a one shooter, however they're filming each episode in a one
It's a
shot.
oneer, yeah, I think it's called the oneer, yeah.
In a one it's incredible. There's no edits, there's no cuts. They take that camera and they follow those actors throughout the entire scene, the entire episode, and there are no cuts, no edits at all. I think it's incredible when a director we love the studio for that reason. The studio with Seth Rogen, and they've won every award out there because each episode well, they had one episode in particular that
Oh,
was
yeah,
called The
a
Oneer,
oneer.
I think,
It's called
and
the oneer.
it's shot on one single camera, the entire episode, the whole scene, and it's incredibly difficult to pull off. Well, each of these episodes, the 4 episodes for
Yeah.
adolescents, was shot that way. And so I thought it was incredibly done in that regard. The storytelling was really,
Yeah, there's
really
gonna be spoilers
compelling.
too because we have to, like, as I think our duty as parents, not that anybody has to listen to us, but in the social media age, not so much the internet age because the internet's been around since the mid-90s, but the
Internet's
social
been around way longer
well,
than
we
that,
know all
babe,
that, but,
but
like, the popularity of it with Google and all these other things, like,
sure.
Facebook was what, 2005? 2003 or 2002 was
I was getting
MySpace?
I was testing at
Yeah,
Harvard when I
yeah,
graduated, so
2005.
that's 2002.
Yeah, so, there's gonna be spoilers because, the social media age and everyone needs clicks and they need likes and they need heart emojis and all that stuff. it really goes to show you I didn't think it was as endemic as it is, but it really goes to show you how much some kids who are 12, 13, 14, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, they rely on some of this stuff for their popularity and, like, how much people like them and things like that, and that is terrible,
Their self-worth is
terrible,
wrapped up in what the internet says about them, and that is not only is it scary, it's extremely scary, but it
terrible.
is horrible. It's horrible to think about these kids getting their own value. They value themselves based on what other people think of them across these mediums. So adolescence, again, spoilers for my mom and Sal's mom, if you haven't seen
Anybody
it,
else watching?
abandon ship, come back. But adolescence in a nutshell, I'll give it a nutshell, is about a young boy,
13.
13 years old, being accused of murdering a girl. And they have him on tape stabbing her to death. She's stabbed
But you don't
7
see that right
times
away.
with a knife, and then the story unfolds as to where was he, the evidence, why would he do that, what's the motive, and it turns out and he's constantly denying it, so I'm thinking it's his friend, he didn't do it, he's continuing to say that he didn't do it, he wasn't there, blah blah blah, but it turns out that he was being bullied on social media. She really devalued him and made him feel worthless. He didn't feel that he was attractive at all.
Apparently, it's called an incel when somebody's involuntarily celibate, meaning nobody will have sex with them or do promiscuous things, and this kid was only
He was
13,
13.
and it
13.
apparently, the guy who wrote the show and started it heard about a lot of these different stories and made a story about it. So it's sort of pulled from truth, and it's sort of pulled from all the bad things you could think about happening. So, like, what this emoji means, what that emoji means, but incel, meaning involuntarily celibate, meaning you're ugly, nobody wants to be with you, nobody's gonna be with you. They pull out these Instagram posts and go ahead, it's just crazy.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking, and I think what was really eye-opening because they did analyze all of the social media posts and then the comments that fell out of the posts, and then as a result, the boy got a knife and then followed this girl and then stabbed her to death, and it ends up being he changes his plea to guilty. So by the end, you're realizing, okay, he really did do
You're
it.
just
I mean,
realizing like,
he really did do it.
you're realizing he did it, which sorta wasn't in question, like, there's a point in this
Questioned it.
there's a
I
yeah.
don't want to think that a 13-year-old capable of
Yeah,
doing
there's a
that.
point in the second episode where you meet his friend who gave him the knife, who looks sorta just like him, so you think, "Oh, maybe it's mistaken identity
That's what I
since
thought.
he's not doing it," but then you realize just the epic sadness of, like, the last 2 episodes where you can see that he just struggles all the time with he asked he asked the psychology lady, "Am I ugly? Do you think I'm ugly? Do you think I'm a nice person? Do you like me?" Things like that. All things that, you know, the internet just destroys people about. I grew up in a different era, right? And my head's big enough already as it is. I have a great job that I love, great wife and kids. So if somebody was like, and plus I'm, 4 years old. So if
Own it, babe.
someone tells me I'm chubby and fat, I don't care what you say, but that's with years of wisdom behind me. So could you imagine 11, 12, 13-year-old boy who likes a girl, you know, there's a joke I've told my wife a bunch of times. I was at the 6th grade dance, Walnut Street Elementary School, go Wildcats. There was a girl who rode my bus who was straight across the way, and it was like this. We were looking at each other, and I was in 6th grade, and I got up the cojones to go ask her to dance. She looked right at me and she said, "No." I said, "Oh, you don't wanna dance?" She says, "No." I even started to be friends with her brother to try to get friendly with her. So rejection, but then years and years went by where I thought, like, if a girl was looking at me or if a girl was friendly with me, does she really like me, things like that, and there was no internet. So there was no one constantly judging that. I could just evolve, into like, "Okay, well, that's she didn't like me, she didn't wanna dance," you know?
Move on,
But like
and you move on.
but like, if you put something out there on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and then you get 6,000 comments, 1,200 comments, and they're railing you when you're 12 or 13, or like a girl who's, like, a little chubby, but she's a cheerleader, right? And they go to nationals, and they do this, this, and this, and then somebody rips her apart on that, and then she develops a complex from it. Social media is the bane of the new generation. Do not let your kids on there,
It
ever.
shapes one's view of his or her self-worth,
Yeah, like,
and that is so toxic because it's so misleading. It's
none
not
of that
true.
matters.
It's not
You
real.
can't tell a kid that, but none of it matters.
It's not real. I mean, this kid, and I know it's a character, he's playing a character, but it's based on real
You can
events.
see he's just torn.
He wrapped his self-worth in these comments, and he kept calling himself ugly and devalued who he was, and wrapped it in a girl not finding him to be attractive enough, and so as a
To go to the
result,
fair with him.
he built up so much anger, he killed her. He
Yeah.
killed her. And what I thought was the most interesting out of the whole series was the parents reflecting on their role, and that's really what Sal and I
That's
took
like
away
the
from this.
last half hour, 35 minutes of the show.
Read d you wrote
I
down,
wrote something
I
down.
think
So
the key
the husband and wife
message.
the husband and wife, on the last episode starts out, it's the dad's 50th birthday. It's 13 months after, or it's 11 months after the kid did this, right? So the trial's coming up in a few weeks or whatever. So it's the dad's 50th birthday, and it starts out where something got written on his truck that means like pedo, or it means like a pedophile person. It's some word in England that they use. So the tension starts with that he's trying to wipe it off his truck, can't do it, goes to the store. The kid selling him the paint realizes who he is, and he's like, "I'm with your son, man. I can't believe that girl would do that." And all these crazy different wounds that she had. There's no way he could have done it. Anyway, it just devolves into like the sadness and the sorrow and like how bad you feel as a parent when something like this happens, because you're like, where did I go wrong? Like, I try to do my best. Obviously, I think a good amount of parents try to do their best, but there's still a good amount of parents that hand a kid a phone or an iPad and they just want the kid to be quiet. You see it in the supermarket, you see it all in these places. And then the kids don't know how to act. Then you have kids who are just socially inept. They can't deal with failure, they can't deal with rejection. And that's what happens. So the dad, right at the end, talked about how he took him for baseball and he took him for footy, which is soccer.
He took him for
Sorry, took him for
soccer.
soccer, took him for boxing, not baseball. Sorry, tried boxing, none of that worked. So he's like, he got older, he wanted the computer. So we put the computer in his room, and then he was just up in the room. He's like, he was safe in there, wasn't gonna cause him no harm. And like them saying that he was safe in there wasn't gonna cause him no harm, just letting him be free on the computer, probably like if that doesn't hit every parent like a ton of bricks, then you don't know what's going on, because up until that point, he was a good kid, right? And the mom had previously just said about a minute before that, she'd be up late doing something and it's 1 AM and she's like, "Come on, Jamie, turn the computer off, go to bed." And he had been in his room and he kinda shut himself in and he was online playing games and doing Instagram, doing whatever, but he was in the matrix as far as how the kids just get on all these social sites and they do all these things. And, you just put him in the computer and you're like, "Oh, what's it gonna happen? He's not gonna do himself any harm." And it's like, "Yeah, it does. That's all it does."
Well, when parents are disconnected from the reality and they don't know what's going on, they're
Yeah,
not asking the questions, they're not involved.
it's
They wanted
terrible.
to make him happy, so they got the computer, they got the gaming system, they got the headphones, they
Sure.
got the desk,
Clearly there was
and
no boundaries.
put it all in his room, and there were no boundaries established, there's no monitoring, there's no discussion. There is he comes home from school, he goes straight to his room,
And games, does
he
whatever.
logs on, and then he's up. He's up and on until all hours of the night until mom says, "Hey, it's 1 AM," to a 13-year-old. It's 1 AM, it's time to go to bed. I mean, there's tons of red flags, and he becomes kind of a recluse. He's not talkative anymore, he doesn't
He used to like to
engage.
draw and do art, he stopped doing that. And part of it too, the 3rd episode is almost an entire episode where he's talking to a psych lady, and you can see, like, the back and forth where he gets really narcissistic and, like, is using misogyny to talk to this lady who's like a grown adult doctor, and he's only 13. He's like, "Look at you, scared of a 13-year-old boy because I was standing over you," because he gets mad and, like, stands up in her face. And part of what the producer creator guy was talking about was social media, how it does the things, toxic masculinity,
The empowerment.
misogyny, how social media affects all that. And you can see the kid, like the way they wrote it and how it's acted, it's great because he does that and he looks so confident and he looks so tough in a bad way. And then he sits down and he's like, "Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Like, you can see the struggle of, like, him not knowing what is appropriate.
Or what's even real. I
Not
found
maybe
that to
not
be
real, I don't
fascinating.
think, but, like, appropriate because
No,
he's never
he
been taught the P's and Q's.
he continued to be in denial about the crime
Oh, until the
until
end, yeah.
almost the very end. So, he still did not really know truly what was real
But he
because
wasn't
of
crazy, he was just in
devious
denial.
how devious the internet is and social media is, and he won, the Golden Globe, so did the dad won the Golden Globe, the
For the
series
acting.
won the Golden Globe for Best Limited Series, totally deserved, and we walked out of there saying every parent needs to see
Yeah,
this,
listen,
and I actually had conversations with both my 7-year-old and my 9-year-old tonight, even about the use of computers because we're not around when they're at school, and they have free use of laptops.
oh, yeah,
They're
tell
doing
him.
they're doing our this is our 9-year-old, they have
Yeah.
free time during media center, and they have a class called technology, which we have no
Why?
control over.
Why?
I've talked to the school about this. I've talked to the county about this because I don't like that the 2nd graders are given iPads to have permanently. The 4th
Yep.
graders, 5th graders are given laptop computers. I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th are given laptop computers from the county. I questioned, why do they even need that? Can we not do that?
Yeah, why do you have a class called technology? They don't need any of that. Read a book.
Can they fill out paper tests? Do they have to be on technology all the time? I've talked about the toxicity associated with technology and that we don't believe in that. We're not giving them devices. We have an iPad that's a family iPad, and we really only use it when we go on vacations because we're okay with them zoning out on a movie on
That's
vacation.
vacation.
But they're not using it on a daily basis, weekly basis,
Even the
even
Switch, even the Nintendo Switch.
correct, correct. So I say all that to say our 9-year-old had free time during her media period, and she decided to Google search her parents. And she Google searched me, which I do a lot of work in communications and marketing, and I'm involved in a lot of high profile cases and things as a part of my work that I didn't want her seeing. And she Googled her father, who she saw that he had spent time in jail. And then she raised those questions. Daddy, why did you go to jail? Why did you
So
spend
good.
time in jail? We both looked at each other and said, "What?" And she said, "Well, I searched for you when I was at school,
And
and
your
your
mugshot.
mugshot came up, and I saw your mugshot." So that resulted in me contacting the school and talking to the principal and the assistant principal. "Hey, why does my kid have access to the internet at school, and I'm not there to monitor this behavior?" And she now knows that her dad went to jail. It's awesome. Now, let's preface this that Salvatore did spend a stint in the Slammer back in Tampa, Florida. I was out of town on a work trip, but he was arrested for
For a
an unpaid
motorcycle violation.
unpaid motor violation on his
Motorcycle.
motorcycle violation. It was a moving violation? What was it?
I didn't have my license changed over yet. You immediately have to get the motorcycle endorsement on your license if you're driving your motorcycle. So I passed the test, but I did not go get my license changed yet. And I was actually going to put Sandy's new vanity plate on her car at her work as a surprise. Somebody pulled me over for speeding, so I got a speeding ticket and I got the no endorsement ticket. So everyone knows it's 30 days. Well, for a no endorsement ticket, it's the only ticket in the state of Florida that is 2 weeks. So a few weeks later, I get a knock on the door,
Must have been a really slow night in Tampa.
12:05 at night. The paddy wagon comes around and I hear knock, 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 and I'm like, "What?" So I look out and then I close the door, but I'm like, "Let me just look out again in case somebody's messing with me." So I stick my head out of the foyer, like outside, and the cop just happens to look. He's like 2 houses down the street. He's like, "Salvatore Vastola?" And I'm like, "Who's asking?" And he's like, "Yada, yada." So he tells me, he's like, "Sorry, I got a warrant for your arrest." And I'm like, "Are you joking?" A
Classic.
bench warrant is issued at midnight for that type of stuff, and they come knocking on my door like I'm a member of Al Qaeda,
Yes. So long story short, our kid found his mugshot.
which I can't find right now. It's amazing.
while doing Google searches at school. So I had conferences with the principal, the assistant principal, and the librarian who's over the media center on, hey, what are we doing here, guys? Why aren't you all in better control over the technology and the searches that are taking place? Why do they have free time? I don't want my kid having free time on the internet. That we don't allow that in our home. And I said that to them. She doesn't have a device at home. She's not allowed to do that at home. So why is she being allowed to do that at school? And we don't have any control over it. We're not able to monitor it. So we talk to them a lot about the dangers of the internet,
Can't find
about
it.
social media. My 7-year-old said to me, she said, yeah, mom, all of these kids in my class are turning 8 and they're all getting cell phones for their 8th birthday. She just said that to me tonight. Tonight, Salvatore, they're all getting cell phones. And I
And
said, well, sweetheart, you're not. You're not
and
gonna get a phone
Sandy and
for
I
a long,
when
long
Sandy
time.
and I first became parents, probably the first year or 2, and then we had another baby, so, like, 2 years we had 2.5 years we had 2 kids, you know? So we had, like, a lot of aha moments, like, "Oh, wow." Like, "Yeah, that's why my mom did this, or that's why my mom said that." And, we don't wanna judge and we don't wanna, you know, offend anybody. All you see now, I mean, what, 8 out of 10? 7 out of 10.
Whew, it's high.
Any kids under the age of 10, they all some of them have phones already, and you're on it. And, like, if we can say yes, if
Watches.
we can tell the parents, clearly everyone who's watching this, I mean, we have 17,000 subscribers right now. Oh, no, 1.7. Never mind, that's different. Okay. Like,
Chaperoned a field trip,
yeah,
and the girl right beside me is taking selfies
on
on
her
her
watch. So,
watch.
just don't. Your kids
Crazy.
don't need the technology for social media, right? And then the problem is, like, we did it. We put our phone up at the restaurant, and we let the kids watch a movie or watch a TV show when they were 4 and 5, so we could have a few minutes of quiet. But in those 6 or 7 years, we've been parents almost for 10 years, but in those 6 or 7 years since they were little, and we were trying to keep them subdued so we didn't kill ourselves, coming up to this point, we haven't given them more technology or more time. It's about the same. And we don't give them any social media. We don't let them post on Facebook or be like, "Hey, I wanna
No.
do this," or "Hey, can I look on Facebook and see what my aunt is doing?" We don't do any of that stuff. And I don't mean to sound, like, fatalistic, but that's the type of stuff that's gonna get them in trouble because they have no idea. We tell our kids constantly to put their shoes away, and they can't remember to do that. You think they're gonna be able to decipher someone's sarcasm on a TikTok or on an Instagram if they say something bad or if they're making fun of them or if they're just teasing them? All of that is gonna just destroy any emotional development that they have.
And I think it's really hard because our 9-year-old comes home and she knows a lot about social media and she hasn't learned any of it at home.
None from us,
So
none.
she's hearing about all of it from her little 9-year-old friends at school. All the TikTok, the dance trend, this 6, 7, 41,
41.
41, and doing all of the 6, 7. I mean, it's nonstop. And it's because these kids are perpetuating whatever is going viral, whatever is taking off across the country on all of these TikToks and Instagrams and everything, and they're bringing it into school. And these kids are babies. They're so
Yeah.
young and so
And
little.
listen, and
They're so little.
my apologies if this causes offense, but you're lazy parents. That's what it is. If you're letting any kid under the age of 16 have a phone to access social media, like, if you get them a phone, you get one of those, locked phones, what are they called? The parental control phones, whatever it is. Like, if you
Yeah,
just have a
they
phone.
make
We have a
devices that
neighbor
limit
Yeah, we have a
access.
neighbor who has a 10-year-old who walks our dog, and he has a phone or a watch now that's hooked up to call, right? To call, but there's no internet, there's none of that stuff,
It's limited
right?
text. It's like
But,
controlled text,
you know,
no social, no internet, nothing.
if you're I see it, and I see it all the time, like, I see fail videos where kids break their first iPhone that they got for their 12th birthday. It's like, "You did so good, Mackenzie. Congratulations on your cheerleading competition. Remember the present we said we're gonna get you? Here's your iPhone." And you're giving them access to Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. You're just setting yourself up for failure, and especially for young girls. Because let's face it, girls and boys are different. And we're not just talking biology here, okay? Girls mature faster, they stay mature longer. They're usually smarter when they're younger. They get a little crazy as they get older, but
Smarter when
that's
we're
different,
older
right?
too. Smarter when we're older.
Guys guys, right here, most of us just I'm gonna say this right into the camera, okay? Guys, don't try to fake anybody out. We're idiots. Most of us are perverts, okay? We find a good chick that's gonna put up with us for a long time, and that's who we marry, okay? So the social media
One
doesn't
track
affect
minded.
us. If we're putting on our eyeliner and we're doing our foundation, that's not what dudes do on social media. So it's completely different. So we have 2 daughters, right? So this hits home, okay? And this story, the adolescence show was about a 13-year-old boy. So, like,
Yeah.
it can happen to anybody, but especially impressionable young girls, who see album covers and who see magazine covers and who see pictures of this one or pictures of that one in this dress and skinny and it's gotta do this. There's no positive reinforcement of self-image. It's all about vanity. It's all about foundation and makeup and fake eyelashes, and if you do that and that makes you feel good, that's fine, but you're perpetuating the problem. None of that is real. None of it's real. And you're gonna have problems if you allow your children just to think that that's real life.
Yeah, I saw a great interview. I'm forgetting who did it, but it was a perfect quote where they said everything on social media is talking about how you aren't good enough.
Yeah, you
Every
don't
ad
have
that you're
this.
served, you don't have it. You're not enough. You aren't good enough, you're not enough, and I thought about it, and I looked at my feeds, I scrolled through Instagram, I
Yes.
scrolled through Twitter or X, I scrolled through and it's true. It's every ad that's being served to you is, "You're not skinny enough, you need to take this drug. You're not pretty enough, you need to put on this makeup. You're not young enough, you need to put this injection
Yeah.
in
Come
or put on this
come get
mask."
ready with me this morning while I put my eyelashes on
It's
and 5
true.
pounds
You're
of
not a
makeup.
and that's and when you're 46, I can absorb that message and say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
We can
46, so
tell
I'm
truth
not
from
listening to you."
BS.
Correct. But when you're so young and
12,
impressionable,
eleven.
you really do believe you're not
It's
enough.
just crazy. So, the
Yeah.
point of this is, parents, we'll wrap this up here. Watch his or hers great murder show, really, really well done. Even the spoilers we told you, you're gonna love it, okay? Maybe we shouldn't have told them who the killer was at the end because that's really good, but sorry. But if you have kids, if you have any kids under the age of 14 or 15 now, even if they're older and they're all tied up in that social media stuff, tell them you'll give them $100 if they sit down and watch this show with you. And you watch it too if you haven't, because it is going to change your perspective, right? It doesn't hit you in the face with it. It doesn't say, "Oh my god, Instagram killer who killed the girl because she rejected him," but you understand what it is. Like, you can read between the lines. It's sort of subtle sometimes, and it's pretty much in your face other times. But you have to watch it because if not, the next couple generations, it's just gonna be crazy.
Well, and you also understand the weight of parenting, the
Yeah, that's a big
responsibility
thing.
you took on when you had children, and I thought
It
about it
doesn't
this
just go away
weekend
with the
where
TV screen.
we went tubing, and maybe we hit on that in the next one,
Yeah,
but, we
tubing.
went tubing,
Tubing's
so
fun.
we were checking the block off on we parented because we went
We went
tubing.
tubing.
But then, I had the kids all day yesterday and had to do make believe and playing fort and doing all the things. And then today, because I'm thinking about it, I want to be involved in their lives. I'm responsible for them. It didn't just end at me having children. It's an everyday commitment we have to make. And it is really hard to
It
make that
ain't
commitment every
easy.
day. It is not easy at all. But watching the adolescence show just reinforced the responsibility you have as a parent that you can't just send them to their room with all the access to the technologies in the world and just go la 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 la. It's going to be fine.
Uh,
They're going to be
and
fine.
again, we're not well, not my wife, she's not saying it, but I am. It's lazy parents. It's people who should not be parents. Like, I've done plenty of silly stuff in my life, and, I'm sure there's some people that would differ in their opinion of me that I'm a wholesome, sweet boy. I try to be, but, 50-50 probably. But as far as raising kids, like, that's the most important responsibility you could have
It
because, like,
is. It's a big
what
one.
if your kid kills somebody? What does that say about you? And this kid wasn't a psycho. Like, some people are
No.
just wired differently, right? You can see those people. But he was just a kid who felt some rejection, who was in these rabbit holes and just going down about, misogyny and big strong boys and kiss the girls and this chick's hot, but this one's not. And all the stuff that you see on social media that is just irrelevant to a good life.
And where will I be accepted? Who
Yeah,
will
it's just
accept
crazy.
me? Who will value me? And when you lack that in your home, When you don't find the value for oneself in your inside your home, your parents aren't establishing that for you, you seek it
Yeah.
elsewhere. And if you're not getting it
Yeah.
elsewhere, then guess what? There you have the propensity to do potentially what happened in this
Well,
show,
it's you have the
Adolescence.
propensity to be, like, shallow. You have the propensity to not understand that if you get out in sweatpants and a T-shirt, a guy might find you just as attractive as if you're all done up. Okay, you don't know. The point is to try to be a good, confident, kind person. And use any abilities you have. If you can do 2 backflips in a row because you did tumbling for 12 years, use that to teach other little girls backflips, okay? But getting on social media and letting that be a barometer in your life of how happy you are or the acceptance you have with yourself or, that you have 3,000,000 followers, like, none of that matters.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Worth the
It's
watch.
worth the watch. They're
Worth the
all worth
watch.
the watch. We it was kind of a downer actually when we were watching it,
It
but
was
it
sad. I sobbed.
made a lot of
I
sense.
sobbed,
It's just crazy.
but
Just
I felt for the parents in the end.
as parents, try to do your best. We have a ton of friends who are parents, and we all parents. I think all parents kind of silently judge other parents, but not in a bad way. We're just like, oh, look what they're letting happen over here. So don't be that parent. Just try your best. And if there's some days where your kids win, then they win. But more times than not, if you're doing your best, that's not going to include hours and hours and hours of video games and social media. That's not the world. It's crazy. And if you look up studies, if you look up so many different
Yeah.
things about kids' exposures to violent video games or kids' exposure to social media, things they see online, it's starting to become an endemic. Like it's never going to leave. Not that there are Not that there are any protections in place, there could be, and I'm not talking about laws or things like that, but just as a parent, like, if you don't recognize that this is bad, something's wrong with you.
Well, and thank heavens you were seeing it across the country. There's more cracking down on cell phones and smartwatches
Yes,
in
in schools, you gotta
schools.
put them in your bag and stuff like
Thank
that.
heavens for that. I
There's
think
no
they
need
were
to
really
even be
slow on
there,
the
but I
draw.
get it.
It took them too long to try to figure out policy
Yeah.
around that,
I
but
don't
thank
understand how
heavens.
if there's a
Oh,
kid in a history class
whew.
looking down at his cell phone while he's supposed to be learning history, that would be put your friggin' phone away. But your mom said the same thing, and she's been retired, what, 5 years?
Yeah, my mom was a high school English teacher,
Kids would
and
just have their phones out, not paying
she saw
attention.
the evolution from whether it was test
Like,
scores and you couldn't fail a kid
2014
anymore because you
yeah,
weren't allowed to do it and you were offending them, or
2013, 14, 15 is when
the
she
evolution
really
of
saw it.
technology, and it's their right, so they have a right to have their
Yeah,
device, they have a right to have the
it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
you're in a learning environment, it's distracting, it should be illegal because you can cheat, all the things. So finally, there are schools putting policy, there are districts and states putting policy around devices in the classroom, thank heavens, but it's still extremely toxic.
It was a very sobering show to watch. So, if you get a chance, watch Adolescence. Shout out Stephen Graham. I don't know the other kid's name. If you wanna email us and tell us we're awesome for reviewing your show, we would love that. TRLpodcast.com. Next time, Sandy
TRLpodcast.com.
will have some kind of punishment for me because I messed up the Maverick guy's name. We just forgot to do it.
Yes, Hangman versus Bagman, that was from the last episode, and I won,
And then,
so we will be coming to you with his
maybe
punishment
we'll do some
in the
fun
next episode.
competition stuff next time.
And you still have to meet
And we'll
Walter,
have to meet
so
Walter and talk about tubing.
yes, he's getting a little clip tomorrow, so he'll be nice and bathed in
In
clip.
general, when you wanna take your kids out to do fun stuff and they just complain the whole time, that'll be a whole discussion.
We'll tackle
Yes,
that in the next
yes,
episode. Yes, adventures while tubing and injuries that
everything.
resulted, so
Thank you for
exciting.
listening. We enjoyed this. We hope you enjoyed it. It's fun
Thank you
for
for
us.
listening.
See you later.
Bye.